Mercedes' struggles are likely to continue in the 2023 season, and even though they've found visible solutions for the new challenger, it's very unlikely that they can catch up to the best two teams if they don't find something revolutionary for the W14. However, if there's one team that can surprise us in this matter, that has to be Mercedes. The Silver Arrows have something special in mind, and we cannot wait to see how the 2023 season will unfold for them. But as of now, it seems like they're working on something really interesting you won't think of right away. Keep watching to find out. One of the things that Mercedes' fans would have been more than happy to see implemented on the 2023 Challenger is the new sidepod design. However, even though Wolf hinted initially that the philosophy of the car was going to change and the Silver Arrows were going to strike the grid with brand new machinery, they've just deepened the already existing design with 0 sidepods of the car. While many have been left disappointed by this decision, it's safe to say that Mercedes is looking at the big picture and thinking of a long-term relationship with their car, and that requires some sacrifices. The 2022 season was one in which the team was able to collect as much data as they possibly could and then implement it on the W14 in order to make the best version out of it. Sure, the technical regulations tweak and the fact that Mercedes will have the most time to spend in the aerodynamic facilities compared to Ferrari and Red Bull will help the Silver Arrows. But this itself isn't enough for you to become a team that will jump from P3 to P1 in just one season. That is why Toto Wolff has something very interesting planned for his team, and while he hinted at it during the virtual reveal of the car to the world, this is far from the only thing that's going to be implemented on the car. Even though the Mercedes' executives feel that the car isn't losing performance due to the sidepod design, Wolff has confirmed that in the first couple of weeks of the 2023 season, they're going to revamp this design. While many are not accepting this as a solution to beating the top teams, Mercedes already knows what they're doing. And this is exactly the plan that they had in the previous season as well. However, the car that they had in 2022 was so bad that it just wasn't worth spending additional resources to boost the performance when the difference between them and Red Bull was almost a second per lap, and unfortunately for Mercedes, they're not magicians. Ted Kravitz from Sky F1 claimed that Mercedes are currently developing a backup concept that is very similar to Red Bull and Ferrari's philosophy, and we could see it being deployed as early as the second half of the 2023 season. If we've learned anything from Mercedes in 2022, it's that they've been able to find performance in the second half of the season, especially after the enormous struggles they had in 2022. Had they built a car that would have complied with the technical regulations in 2022 and synergized with all of the new rules, who would have known whether Hamilton or Russell wouldn't have a legitimate shot at the championship? But with everything understood and well on its way, Mercedes is looking to start the season on a strong note and changed mid-season. When talking about this matter, Kravitz said, "They're giving their big idea, that was a failure last year, one more go. But I believe that they have a plan B in production. And if they need to, they can switch to a plan B, which is the Red Bull or Ferrari style of doing things in the middle of the season. At the moment, they're saying, look, we think we've got a proper handle on what went wrong last year. We still believe that our way, unique in the pit lane and having very slim sideboards, is the way to go aerodynamically. And anyway, they say most of the downforce is generated by the floor, which you can't see, but they're saying don't expect anything too soon." Furthermore, Karun said that the expectations of Mercedes in 2023 would be to win at least 3 to 4 races, and if the team fell below this goal, they would surely be disappointed. Mercedes won only 1 race in Brazil 2022, and while it was a dominant performance with both Ferraris nowhere to be found and Verstappen and Perez having a bad day, it's definitely the brightest point of the season for the Silver Arrows. Kravitz continued to discuss Mercedes and what we can expect from the Silver Arrows once the season begins, but now he speaks about the team resolving their issues and saying that more information about their car is yet to be released online. "We've got developments of the European season and we think they're going to work, but maybe the figures are very wrong eventually." Many people fail to realize how big of a challenge Mercedes has in front of them. at least when speaking in championship terms. The Silver Arrows have gone from being the best team in the sport for 8 consecutive years to suddenly finding themselves in the 3rd place, with an engine freeze set in place until 2026 and the team not being able to work on absolutely anything regarding engine gains. To add salt to the wound, the team had one of the worst cars in terms of aerodynamic aspects, as they introduced a new design that, although seen as revolutionary, only brought headaches to Russell and Hamilton, and we mean literal headaches. Still, the team definitely has the potential to rise from its ashes, and in order for us to understand how this could be done, let's have a look at the 2022 plan of Mercedes and why it was considered a failed one. Ever since the 4th race of the season in Emilia-Romagna, it was evident that Mercedes would suffer a lot in the remainder of the season, and the fact that Wolff hopped on the radio to apologize to Hamilton for the car that he had to drive that weekend just shows where the team was at that particular time of the season. Rumors have gone to the extent of Mercedes actually spending a huge amount of their budget cap and going all in on a brand new design, something that wasn't actually guaranteeing them a success, but yet again was better than to just wait for Ferrari or Red Bull to crash or suffer from reliability issues just so Hamilton and Russell could grab a P2 or P3. That is why Hamilton said, "I think we've got to figure out what's wrong with this car before we can make another car. If we just started making another car, we could easily get it wrong. There's definitely loads of things that I would not want from this car onto the next year's car." After Monza, Hamilton was asked how he feels about the W13 and whether he trusts the team when they say they have everything sorted out on paper, they just need more time in the wind tunnels. To this, the Brit said that the team is finally realizing that the no-pod car is not going to do wonders for them as they initially hoped, which is why the Brackley-based squad was ready to build a car that works on every single track you go to. To add salt to the wound, Hamilton has praised the design of the RB18, designed by Adrian Newey, who is now withdrawing from the sport, adding, "The Red Bull seems to work in the majority of places. It's understanding why ours doesn't. There's loads of bits in this car that we would change, that I would change." So, at this particular point of the season, Mercedes had a bit of an internal clash, because Russell, on the other hand, said that there is nothing wrong with the design of the car, and the fact that he was finishing constantly in the top 5 only went on to serve as solid proof in his case. But Hamilton wasn't happy with the car, and professional experts said that there were rumors about Mercedes building 2 different W13s, one for Russell and one for Hamilton. With Hamilton praising Red Bull's design and the team understanding that they cannot catch up to Red Bull and Ferrari by simply hoping for more wind tunnel time, there must be a revolutionary act that propels the W14 to the top of the podium. Whether the team will build 2 W14s, one of which will have the aggressive no-pod design and one of which will possess the aerodynamic abilities of Red Bull or Ferrari, only time will tell. But the fact that Wolff confirmed that the team is working towards revamping the side pods and changing them in the first couple of weeks of the season proves that Mercedes is definitely looking in the direction that was considered a failing one back in 2022. With that being said, what do you think about Mercedes and their innovative plan for 2023? Let us know in the comments below.